didn't record. Okay, that was a problem. Go ahead.
Okay. Session 10, healthy recipes. So this talks about how you can tweak recipes at home. So basically you want to think about that all recipes you can make changes to, that you can make them healthier for you and your family. And then if you double up on the recipes, you'll have food you can bring with you to work and steer clear of some of the choices that may be hindering your weight loss that you're making. By bringing your own food, you can save calories. So healthy adaptations. One is cutting back on the oils. So just using less oil, whether you make your own salad dressing, whether you're making, whatever you're making, you can cut back on the oil and you might not even notice it in the product that you're trying to make or the recipe you're trying to make. For instance, if that recipe calls for ground beef, you can use ground round or you could use turkey. So you could use ground turkey in place. If it's cream cheese, you can use light cream cheese. If it's an egg, you can use 2 egg whites. If it's sour cream, you can use fat-free sour cream or yogurt. If it's milk, go for skim or 1%. If it's cream, use the fat-free cream. If it's oil in a baked good, try applesauce or mashed bananas. If it's mayonnaise, do reduced fat or mustard or something else, another condiment. Bacon or sausage, we now have turkey bacon and chicken sausages. So there's definitely a whole gourmet array of these now at Rouse's and at Whole Food. Canadian bacon, use some kind of lean ham. Nuts, you can decrease the amount of those in a recipe and still have that little flavor you're looking for, or cut them up rather than use the halves where you're putting in smaller pieces that are going to go further. Chocolate chips, use fewer. Use the mini chips if you're going to use chocolate chips in a recipe. So use less meat in recipes. So I say rather than use less meat, use leaner meats. So if you're going to do a beef stew, try to get the leanest meat you can for that. Remember, ground round is your lowest ground beef. So you can buy eye of round and ground it yourself, have the butcher grind it, and have it packed up for yourself. Don't fall for the 98% fat-free, because they can put water in that product and advertise it that it's lower in fat when it truly isn't. So other cuts of beef would be like flank steak, skirt steak, round steak. Those are all leaner. Yes, they're tougher, but it does take a little more knowledge on how to prepare them. But they are still really delicious. And so if you're eating fajitas and things like that, that's what you're eating when you're out at a restaurant. You're eating those cuts. Pork would be pork tenderloin. Remember, that's the skinny long one. The regular pork loin is fattening. Certainly bacon, sausage, ham, pork chops, those are all things that should not be in a diet of someone who's trying to lose weight. Cut the sugar. So we got lots of sugar substitutes out there, stevia, Truvia, you name it, arrowroot, lots of sweeteners now that you can use rather than real sugar. Sugar in the raw, maple syrup, honey, they're all sugar. So whatever you might think in your brain that you're getting a little more nutrition, it's still sugar, it's still calories to your body, and it's going to hinder your weight loss. So sugar substitutes are sweet, but they have no calories. You just have to be judicious in the amount of them that you use. When baking, you might use whole wheat flour instead of regular bleached white flour. You might substitute brown rice for white rice, sweet potatoes for white potatoes, but all those things are still good. Use a nonstick skillet and spray pan rather than oil. A tablespoon of oil is 14 grams of fat, whether it's lard or olive. Your heart knows the difference, but your butt doesn't care. When baking, half the amount of butter. Cut that oil in half. And again, use the mashed fruits instead. Use a commercially prepared fruit-based fat replacer. They have such a thing. They also have commercial bases. They're high in sodium, but they do give things a lot of flavor. Chicken base, beef base, and you can buy those now at the grocery. If you cut out the sugar, you're going to want to add more spices to make up for the fact the sugar's not there. So cinnamon, almond, and vanilla extracts do a very good job of that. If you're making something that does not require yeast, you can cut the salt in half. Use whole wheat pasta instead of regular pasta. Remember that even though coconut oils and stuff are really popular right now, yes, they're healthy for you, but they're still fattening. They still have saturated fat. So just because it's coconut oil and not olive oil or something else doesn't mean that you can use more of it. It does mean that you can use it, it's healthier for you, but you still have to be careful. The spray Pam, if you're sitting there and holding that nozzle down longer than a 1 or 2 second spray, it's no longer fat free. If you're buying I Can't Believe It's Butter and you're taking the screw cap off and pouring it, no longer fat free. All those fat-free and light products are dependent upon the serving size that they suggest is fat-free. Once you go over that serving size, it's no longer fat-free. So look for condiments that are lower, like you can buy ketchup that's low in sugar. Mustard really has nothing in it but a little bit of salt. So think about what you might use. Let's see what else we have here. Choose healthy ingredients. So again, you want to think about if you're going to use veggies, try to use fresh or frozen. Canned would be your last choice. Fruits, you want a variety of fruit. And remember that your highest sugar fruits are papaya, mango, pineapple, and dried fruit. So those are all, and bananas. Those are all the ones that are highest in sugar. So you want to eat a lot more citrus, melon, berries, okay? Peaches, pears, nectarines, plums, apples, all of those are a lot lower in sugar than the ones I first mentioned. If you're eating fruit cocktail, even if it's in light syrup, still getting a lot of sugar. Better off making your own fruit salad. And as long as you squeeze lemon on it, the apples and things will not turn on you. So you just put a little lemon or lime juice on them. Choose, if you're going to do sandwich, choose a wrap. Try not to always eat bread. So you might look at, the different calories in the pitas and the wraps. Put a lot more veggies on your sandwiches rather than cheese and mayo. Maybe use hummus as a condiment, which is great on a sandwich. So just think about some of the things that you're using. Look for a low-calorie salad dressing. The new one I like right now is Maple Grove Green Goddess. 10 calories for a tablespoon. That is so low. So you might check out Maple Grove products. They make some really light things that are good. Also think about the sorbets and things like that. Kids like that too. There's also fruit popsicles that are lower in sugar that you can give them as well. So think about items that you can turn your kids onto that are healthy, and so they're not learning that fast food and candy bars and all these things that they see on TV are good choices for them too. Training starts young, and that's session 10.